Battle. We're at Boundary Park for Oldham in 4th against Leeds in 6th, Sky Sports 2, and should be some very spectacular pictures in high definition tonight. HD2, channel 409. Let's rejoin Don Goodman and Ian Dark.
Yes, tasty atmosphere here. There's Neil Kilkenny, who had 2 loans at Oldham. He was in the side which knocked Manchester City out of the FA Cup in what was a big giant killing at the time during his time with the club. And there's Chris Taylor. A few scouts watching him again tonight. Among them, David Moyes of Everton, who will have heard the reports. He'll be looking at Fabian Delph of Leeds as well, I'll be certain of that. But they're not the only ones.
Plenty of talent out there tonight.
And you can't miss Oldham Athletics strip for one night only, the electric pink being used for charity to raise money for a breast care unit at the Royal Oldham Hospital. They're hoping to raise £250,000 in all for that. Really good of Oldham to do that for their local community as well.
It's a wonderful gesture and shows the other side of football. All too often players can be in the headlines for the wrong reasons, but super, isn't it, that football clubs like Oldham Athletic are prepared to do that for charity.
Here's the free kick for Leeds United, taken by Jonathan Douglas, who's being deployed as an emergency right back at the moment, their midfield player. They've got a few problems with injuries with their right backs, Leeds. Andy Hughes, Fraser Richardson out injured. Here's Smalley raiding down the right-hand side for Oldham Athletic. He hoped that would break for Lee Hughes. Now Douglas for Leeds. Both these sides won thrillers at the weekend by 3-2 to boost their promotion ambitions on a weekend when the top 2 in this division, Leicester and MK Dons, drew 2-2 against each other.
There's teams in all 4 divisions, aren't they? Feeling the pressure this time of the season. The real pressure mounts up at both ends of the table, but it is noticeable at the top ends of most of the tables where the pressure's counting the most.
This is Daniel Jones taking the throw for Oldham. He's on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Naylor won the header. Back in by Mayer for Oldham, and then Allott. They've been poor travellers. That's the problem for Leeds United, particularly lately. They've lost their last 3 away games, one of them against Hereford, who are second to bottom. Not scored in any of those 3 either.
That's the concern, isn't it, for Simon Grayson and the coaching staff of Leeds United. They've been absolutely superb at Ellen Road, stacked the points up, and away from home just hasn't come to fruition for them yet. It's a good place to start here tonight.
The 2 managers, by the way, here are old teammates, and they're currently on the same coaching course as well. They know each other well. Gregan with the header. It's fallen for Becchio, though. Just for a moment there, you'd wonder whether he might have taken the shot on. And in the end, it's turned over the bar by Snodgrass.
Well, he had half a chance to get the strike off Becchio, didn't he? Turned it down. He's not actually scored for quite some time. I would suggest that if that had been Jermaine Beckford, he would have been pulling the trigger there. And that's the difference when you're a striker and you're in the goals, or when you're a striker and you're just struggling for a goal.
He hasn't scored in his last 9, to be exact. Becchio, and missed a few chances on that run, I'm told, by regular Leeds watchers. Hazel won the header for Oldham Athletic. By the way, the 2 managers were also in opposition a couple of years ago in a playoff semi when Simon Grayson's Blackpool knocked out Oldham Athletic and ended their promotion dream for that year. This was in the early days of John Sheridan's reign. Beckford, such a danger man with 25 goals. Watch him tonight, back on target again at the weekend. Here's Snodgrass, the Scottish wide player. Nasty knock in the face there for Chris Taylor. He'd have felt that from about 2 yards away at 50 miles an hour.
He would have felt that. It was flying, that ball, literally. smashes him straight full on in the face. Not really what you're after at the minute.
Interestingly, in the League One this season, Oldham Athletic with a great record against teams in the top half. Look, they've won half the games against promotion rivals, as it were, teams who are up there. As for Leeds United, not so good. Look at that, 9 defeats against teams in the upper reaches of the table. That needs to improve.
It certainly does. I mean, they will point to the fact that very recently they've beaten both Millwall and Scunthorpe, so they will hope that that record is improving against the better teams in this division.
He looks a bit groggy, does Chris Taylor, and Simon Grayson there just taking a look on the Leeds United manager. A bit of blood from the nose as well. Looks in a bad way, doesn't he, Don?
He does look dazed. I mean, it did smack him at a rate of knots, didn't it? Full on the face.
They've only got a couple of replacement shirts, I'm told, as well.
Yeah, that would be a problem, wouldn't it?
It's a special edition, this kit, which is doing a roaring trade in the club shop, I'm told.
Yeah, it's Richard Naylor's clearance and smack right in the face. Not the full force of it. Hopefully he'll be fine in just a minute or so.
Douglas knocks it long towards Beckford. It's won by the very experienced Sean Gregan, a former Leeds United player himself, playing against his old club.
He's going to need to use all that experience.
Snodgrass towards the near post. Beckford didn't get the little flick he was looking for. He was in a good position. It's pulled back again, and this time Sean Gregan gets it away for Oldham Athletic. Missed by Marquez. Lee Hughes. He had Dean Smalley in space wide on the right, but went the other way.
Well, he didn't lift his head up, Lee Hughes, and he's another man with lots of experience. He could have just got his head up. Smalley was making a really good burst, but it was the mistake from Marquez that just caused a bit of concern momentarily for Leeds.
Stephen Cabot making his home debut on loan from Watford. And if you've heard him called Steve Cabot before, he's told us personally he wants to change it to Stephen from now on. It's a bit like that Andy Cole, Andrew Cole thing in the past.
Well, I only get called my full name from my mother when the wife's angry with me. But it's your prerogative, isn't it?
Thank you, Donald. Allott helping it forward for Oldham.
Haven't really been able to get the ball down, have they, yet, Oldham Athletic? And that's the style that John Sheridan wants them to adopt. They were watering the pitch before this game, trying to get the surface a bit greasy so they could zip it about, but Leeds haven't really allowed them to do that as yet.
He was a great passer of the ball himself, wasn't he, in his heyday? And this being a League Cup final weekend, remember John Sheridan got the winner for Sheffield Wednesday against Manchester United way back in 1991. He said this morning when I spoke to him, I've almost forgotten it. And who's he kidding? Marquez knocking this long, hoping Becchio can make something of it. And the goalkeeper did well, coming out to claim it there, Fleming.
It's just a little bit of a breeze in the air. You just wondered for a second whether the goalkeeper was going to misjudge that because of the wind, but he got it right. Greg Fleming.
Won by Naylor. He spent all those years with Ipswich, but he is actually a Leeds fan and was born in the city, so late in his career, proud to be wearing the all-white strip.
It's noticeable how their defensive record has improved since Richard Naylor has come on board.
Sankagren grabs that. He was in a misunderstanding, as you might have seen at the weekend in a game against Scunthorpe, and Scunthorpe took full advantage. This time Douglas has got a knock. Nearly getting that one away to Kilkenny. Neat little midfield player, Neil Kilkenny at his best, and the flag stays down and Becchio's in here. That's a fantastic challenge there by Jones, And Leeds United, a wonderful, wonderful chance.
Well, let's give credit to Daniel Jones here. Doesn't give up on it. Beckford's offside, but Becchio isn't. Times his run perfectly, and look at this for tracking back and getting the timing of the tackle right. Brilliant defending.
And Bradley Johnson right up there with him as well, didn't he? All set up by Kilkenny's craft. Now then, Cabba again. Dean Smalley in space wide on the right-hand side. Cabba's seen him now. Is Eardley the Welsh international right back? Eardley down the line. Lee Hughes onside. Slip there. Hughes, can he take advantage here? And the goalkeeper had to win that, and he did too, Ankergren.
Well, he was brave because Lee Hughes was flying into the Ankergren wants to get on with it, look. The referee was in a good position to see that. Lee Hughes ends up a little bit late. I think he's probably a bit frustrated because Marquez gets across and gets a really good block in here. It's great defending, loose ball, and he's entitled to go for it. But that's super defending by Rui Marquez. And Ankergren, good to see, he doesn't want to make a meal of it, gets straight up and wants to get on with the game.
By Gregan, he thought they came off a Leeds boot last. Referee doesn't agree with him. Referee, by the way, tonight, Russell Booth. First time he's ever handled a Leeds United match in his refereeing career. As Don was telling you, very blowy here. We're right on the edge of the Pennines. Gregan's got to win that if he can. The flag goes up belatedly anyway to stop Jermaine Beckford's run.
It must have been close, and that's what he does. Well, Leeds United just wondering whether or not they could have had a little bit of a penalty appeal here, as they were. Snodgrass crosses the ball, comes off under the arm of Daniel Jones. He's got his arms in the air, it hits him on the arm. And some referees might be pointing to the spot for that.
There's a very similar one in the Bolton-Newcastle game yesterday, not given as well.
He was quite some way away from the ball, wasn't he? And he went to block the ball and he had his arms up in the air. It's always a bit of a gamble when you do that.
Eardley. Cabba chasing it. Both these sides having to play twice in just over 48 hours.
That's always a difficult ask. It just shows you the fitness levels of these players, because there aren't too many changes.
Now the Leeds fans, great support from them. There's 3,000 or 4,000 of them who've made the journey, and they're making a heck of a racket as usual in support of their team. Wasn't long ago, was it? They were in the Champions League semi-finals, and only 5 years ago that they were in the Premier League.
It must seem like a distant memory for some of them. They are very, very keen to get back up to those levels, but they've got to do it one step at a time. It's a job to be done here this season.
Mayer's ball round the corner towards Lee Hughes. Lee Hughes has got 16 goals this season, the latest of them at the weekend at Millwall. Cabba has made a bright start. Mayer. It's Daniel Jones who made that important challenge to stop the most dangerous of Leeds' attacks so far.
It's noticeable actually every time Chris Taylor is anywhere near the ball how close Douglas, the right back, gets to him. It's obviously been pre-warned about his ability.
Bit ambitious, that one from Jonathan Douglas, the right back. The Leeds legends are here in force. They usually are to watch Leeds United play. Right from the heyday, there's Peter Lorimer, the hardest shot anybody can remember. Few goalkeepers would remind you of that, I think.
Yep, hot shot Lorimer, my boyhood hero. Number 7.
One Wonder what he thinks about that new film that's about to come out about Brian Clough's era at Leeds, The Damned United. I don't know who plays Peter Lorimer in it. If he's featured, we'll wait and see. Rui Marquez, the Angolan defender. Snodgrass couldn't win it for Leeds. Taylor. Here's Allott. Voted the player of the year last season. Mark Allott, the midfield player, is making his 450th career appearance tonight. Cabba here. Cut back towards Hughes, but took a deflection. Corner, Oldham.
Well, it was good movement from Steve Cabot. Many probably wondering why Dean Windass wasn't brought back into the fray, but Cabot's pace and movement there was there for all to see. Brought his team a corner.
They'll have to take it again. The referee wasn't happy.
It's the usual melee in the penalty area from the corner, isn't it? All kinds of bumping and barging that goes on in modern day football. Lots for the referee to keep his eye on.
Sometimes need about 4 referees to keep an eye on everything that's going on, I think. It was cleared by Snodgrass. Allott with the header for Oldham Athletic. Game hasn't really settled yet. It's bound to be a bit of a battle, this. So crucial at the top of League One for the points now. And we're getting towards the business end, aren't we, of this season. Eardley forward. Now then, Cabba couldn't bring it under control at a crucial moment. Atkinson couldn't handle that.
It is all a bit bitty. I just wonder whether the players are just struggling just to get to grips with this strong wind that's out there at the moment.
I think that might be the case as well, to be fair to them. It is quite significantly gusty, as it often is at Boundary Park. Second highest ground in the country. Beckford chasing. Daniel Jones has work to do here. Flag was up anyway.
Well, once again, Daniel Jones takes up a really good position as a full-back. He knows Beckford probably going to have the legs on Sean Gregan. So Jones tucks in a little bit. He read that very, very well.
There's Dean Windass looking a bit cheesed off. Coming up to his 40th birthday. He came from Hull wanting to play, and he doesn't like wearing out the bench much, I don't think. Last time we saw him, he was playing in goal, wasn't it? Against Leicester. When you were doing that, weren't you, Don? 0-0 draw, sub-goalie, and was a hero.
Yeah, did absolutely superb, didn't he?
On for Snodgrass to chase out this side. Daniel Jones has made a good start in that left-back position for Oldham Athletic with some vital work already.
Yeah, well, he started at Wolverhampton Wanderers as a wide midfielder. I was very surprised when he was moved back to left back, but so far he's looked a real class act tonight.
His previous loan with the club had to be cut short because he picked up an injury and had to go back to Wolves for rehabilitation. But okay now, as I think we've already seen.
It's an opportunity of a set piece for Leeds United. They've got some good quality players, that great delivery. Always a threat from this type of situation.
Richard Naylor's come forward, and of course he used to be a striker, didn't he? Until Joe Royal converted him to a defender at Ipswich. Pretty useful around goal he was too. Bent in by Bradley Johnson. Was well defended by Oldham. Mayer, too long and straight really for Cabot to do anything with that. got a lot of experience there up front, haven't they, with Lee Hughes and Stephen Cabot?
They certainly have. Just a little bit short of quality service that they'd like at the moment, as is the game. To be honest with you, the creative players are being starved out of this game. They haven't been able to get on the ball and exert their influence yet.
We've seen very little of Delph or Chris Taylor so far, to be fair to Taylor. He was almost knocked unconscious in the opening few moments of the game. Ball in the face. Naylor winning the header. Kilkenny to Ben Parker, the left back, who's got his place back, but that was an errant ball picked up by Erdley. Leeds midfield without Johnny Halson tonight. He picked up a red card in the win over Scunthorpe at the weekend. Snodgrass. Douglas, now Snodgrass again. Dummy from Beckford, hoping that his strike partner would take advantage, but I think he bought the dummy too.
I think he certainly did. Yeah, we all bought the dummy, to be fair. Just in a nutshell really sums up the first 20 minutes of this game. A little bit scrappy at the moment.
Smalley with the header on, and he's picked up an injury there. He falls to the ground rather alarmingly, and there was no contact with anybody. Doesn't look good.
It's always worrying when players go to ground when there's nobody around them. It just makes you wonder whether an ankle's buckled or a knee. Lands awkwardly. Let's have a look. He wins the header, and as he comes down, you can see him just hop up. He knows he's caused a little bit of damage.
Dean Smalley, locally produced youngster, and it doesn't look so good. You always fear it's the ankle ligaments, don't you, there?
Well, I think the way the physio's going there, he's testing the knee, I think, is he? He's holding his knee. But is he looking at the ankle? It's a very difficult one because it was just an awkward landing.
There's John Sheridan, who's done such a good job with Oldham Athletic. This is the second time that he's had them in the promotion race seriously. They were the early pace setters in this division. They're still right in the hunt. A win tonight, they're only 2 points away from the top two.
Done a superb job. Never been outside the top 7 all season, and even outside the top 6 they've only been for a couple of games.
Among those watching tonight, there's Phil Brown, the Hull City manager. Involved in a few stories, wasn't he, yesterday in that game with Blackburn Rovers? And Dean Windass, the player who has left Hull for the moment for his loan period with Oldham Athletic. Maybe we'll see him later. He usually manages to work his way into the story somewhere.
Well, Becchio has led with his arm there. Now, how intentional it was, I really don't know, but Gregan's been caught with a flailing arm. Assistant referee's flag went up instantly. I'm not sure the referee actually saw it from where he was. He is aggressive in the air. Becchio leads with the elbow, but looking for leverage, I think, more than anything. I think that's an accident. As you go up, you've got to lift your arms to get any kind of height. It's unfortunate that it makes contact with Sean Gregan.
The referee is calling him over, though.
Well, if he deems that deliberate, it just makes you wonder what colour card, if any, is going to come out.
Well, there is going to be a card, that's for certain here. Luciano Becchio, the striker. It is yellow. And in the end, he might have been a little bit relieved about that.
Yeah, he didn't look overly confident when he was called over. I mean, I think that's an accident. I think he's looking to get elevation. This is what the referee sees, and in fact, as he lifts his arm there, I don't think the referee can see too much of that, but the assistant referee flagged instantly, and it was noticeable that they had a little consultation before that yellow card was produced.
There is an argument for saying that he was possibly a bit unlucky, because it did look as if he was simply using the arm to try and gain elevation for the header, as you said, Don.
Yeah.
Jones, now here's Chris Taylor. Can play either side, right or left. Jones. Well, the flag was up against Lee Hughes. Premier League action coming up this week. Liverpool against Sunderland tomorrow. Sky Sports 3 and HD 2. Sky Sports 2, I should say. And Blackburn Everton, also Sky Sports 2 on Wednesday. Available in high definition as well for you. Chris Taylor. There's Ruben Hazel, the central defender. Snodgrass. Back to Douglas. And here's Fabian Delph. He's not really been able to get into this so far. Bradley Johnson with the header down. He's on the side with Andy Robinson, picking up a hamstring injury at the weekend. Douglas looking to knock it down the side behind Jones, who made the interception anyway.
And it's Fabian Delph, isn't it, bursting from midfield, looking to get in behind the Oldham defence. Just trying to make things happen for Leeds United.
Leeds back in the top 6 for the first time since Christmas with their weekend win. Johnson, which looks quite lively as well, despite the watering. Kilkenny swinging that towards Beckford. You just wondered if that was going to nestle in the corner.
Well, that's the best moment of the match by far. First of all, the quality of the cross is fantastic. Beckford takes up the right position, does everything right. He's going for the far corner, he heads it down, and he goes very, very close. His only disappointment is that he hasn't got that the other side of that post and hit the target.
Only Matty Fryatt of Leicester City in the whole of England has scored more goals than Beckford this season.
Super ball in, wasn't it?
Big chance. There have been a couple of things for Leeds United, even though the players have been struggling to cope with the conditions a little in the early phases of this game. There's Becchio breaking beyond the defence and not managing to take the opportunity, and then that header for Beckford. Snodgrass, a player who once had a trial at Barcelona. Allott. Oldham Athletic did have a hiccup last midweek in a home game here against Bristol Rovers, side in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
Lost it by 2-0, and in the end, John Sheridan admitted we deserved nothing from the game, although we could have been out of sight in the first half. He said Bristol Rovers deserved their win in the end.
Yeah, they had their chances, Oldham. Haven't really had their chances here. 50-50 the game. It's borne out by the possession, but I suppose if you were looking at clear chances, then Beckford's is the one that stands out at the minute.
Parker. And it all breaks down. And can Oldham work something here? Chris Taylor looking to bend one into the path of Hughes. You can see the idea, but the execution not quite there. Yeah. And that has rather been the story so far.
It is the story. Yeah, it's definitely the story. Certainly two Oldham strikers at the minute working off scraps a little bit. They're having to try and manufacture things for themselves because the service into them hasn't been up to standard.
It's all a bit rushed. Leeds get the free kick, and somebody might fancy hitting this. Nearly 30 yards out.
Hazel has got his arms all over the back of Jermaine Beckford, and he really gives the referee no option but to give the free kick. And you're right, it's in a dangerous area. It's a swirling wind. Leeds United do have one or two players with rockets in the boots, to be honest. Johnson in particular stands out for me.
Bradley Johnson, he did score at the weekend, having come on as a substitute, and this is really the best kind of angle for a left footer, you'd think. It is Bradley Johnson, and it hits the wall. Chris Taylor was glad it wasn't him that got hit again. Smalley on the chase. Handball, Leeds take it quickly. Here's Robert Snodgrass.
I'm surprised the referee doesn't blow for a free kick there. Gregan goes in and challenges and doesn't get anywhere near the ball. Vecchio goes down. Nothing doing though.
Taylor. Cabba. Taylor wanted the ball instantly returned into his path. He didn't get it. He made a good little run round the outside too. Kilkenny. He's the kind of player who will try to put some order into Leeds' attacking work. It's too far for Johnson.
Yeah. It's definitely defences on top, isn't it? Opening half an hour. One or two nearly moments. Decent defending has closed them out in the main.
Points have to be quarried, though, on nights like this, and they're vital to both of these two sides. Leeds United don't want to hang around in the third tier for another season, that's for certain, but they've got some work to do. It's certainly not going to be any formality for them to get out of this division again. No way through for the 20-year-old Smalley down that right-hand side. Here's Fabian Delph. Picked up by Mark Allott. He feeds Chris Taylor. Maybe his head's just starting to clear now. Taylor has just about come to life, hasn't he? He really was groggy.
He was groggy for quite some time, wasn't he? He just hasn't been able to get on the ball in that final third of the pitch. He's looked neat and tidy on occasion, but more in the middle third. Oldham want him getting the ball further up the pitch and running at Jonathan Douglas, because I've already said he's an emergency right back.
Mayer, former Southend player, was part of their side that raced up through the divisions. Thirdly plays it forward. Cabba struggling to control it. Leeds, by the way, are 8 points off the automatic promotion places in this division, and they do, by the way, have a game in hand on Oldham. Delph. Easily cut out that time by Sean Gregan. Parker kept it in play. Foul by Hazel. Needs to be careful, by the way, Ruben Hazel. He's on 9 yellow cards, and even with the amnesty kicking in at the beginning of March, he picks up one more. It's a 2-game ban.
Yeah, that's the last thing Oldham need. You know, not got the biggest squad in the world. He's racking up the little niggly fouls at the moment, isn't he?
Which referees do remember and store in the back of their mind for future use.
They certainly do.
Johnson battling away with Eardley, who's a full Welsh international, played for them in the win over Denmark recently. Alan Taylor. The crowd really trying to get Oldham streaming forward and get some coherence into their attacking work. It hasn't really happened so far for either side, to be fair. Jones. Allott again. He did well to invent something there. Taylor looking to pick up Daniel Jones's run, but he's not going to be that quick.
It's a shame. It's a real shame. It's the right idea. It's very positive, getting the fullback all the way forward in support. It's just a poor execution at the end of it, unfortunately.
Douglas. Handball claimed by Leeds, not given against Jones. Lee Hughes, that's a good dummy that time. They worked that well with Cabba. Tries to pick him up again. Better from Oldham Athletic. Here's Taylor. Well defended by Richard Naylor, who's the warrior type there at the back. Does a lot of talking and organising. Become a vital part very quickly of the Leeds setup, and now the captain tonight, Mayer. And that was gone with the wind, really, that one.
Yeah. Very, very ambitious. It's decent movement ahead, but to play that ball accurately in this wind, very, very difficult. Both teams struggling to string the passes together, really, at the moment.
Okay. Parker. Well, Leeds United have been complaining to the fourth official about the Oldham Athletic mascot in the pink there, because they're getting him confused with the players. Can you believe that one?
No,
brilliant. Neither can I.
No.
The players are the ones without the false head on, by the way. Here's Becchio. You couldn't write it, could you? Spot the footballer.
Yeah, he's shaking his head as well, isn't he?
He could be the big striker.
I
That's a miscue by Fabian Delph. Picked up by Chris Taylor. Delph, to be fair to him, was the player who won it back again. It's been one of many misplaced passes, that. Kilkenny was saying a lot of hellos and shaking a lot of hands before the match with some familiar faces behind the scenes at Oldham. Neil Kilkenny fondly remembering his time here. Oh, now Delph's challenge there on Taylor, who stays down. Lee Hughes is getting involved, unnecessarily so, really. Naylor's coming up to confront Hughes. It's all rather silly.
Yeah, the players get angry, and we also know if they protest vehemently enough, you can get the opposition player who's committed the foul in a bit more trouble, and borderline cases can be influenced. It's wild. It's a wild tackle. Clearly catches Chris Taylor. It was a big thud, and certainly nobody in the ground missed it, least of all the referee.
Yellow card for Delph. This is why.
Yeah, I think it's not the best tackle he's ever going to make. And the right outcome. He just
for the season leaves him one away from a two-game booking.
I was going to say, he loves a tackle as well, so there's a long way to go in this game, and he's going to have to tread very carefully, the young man.
Still only 19. Delph, so many rave reviews this season. But like all the midfield players tonight, he's found it hard, really, to instill any kind of order on things. It's going to be a free kick for Oldham. The temperature here on a cold night is certainly rising on the pitch.
It is, and the referee, I think he's dealt with everything perfectly well so far. Russell Booth, the referee. And then it's way off the ball. They're fighting. Johnson goes into the back of Smalley. I don't know what he's complaining about, to be honest. But you're right, the quality of the football isn't good, but the tackles are flying in and it is getting heated out there.
There's plenty on this, isn't there? So it's all simmering underneath the surface. Oldham know that Leeds could overtake them tonight. Played in by Mayer. Looked a decent ball. Marquez could take no chances. Heads it away. So far, Oldham Athletic rather struggling to look pretty in pink.
Yeah, we know. Normally so fluent, get the ball down and pass it. Lots of movement. Not happened as yet.
Jones. Only been beaten twice at home so far. They're a tough nut to crack here. Bristol Rovers did do it last week.
They have drawn a lot of games this season, Oldham Athletic. It's in stark contrast to Leeds United, who haven't. All looks very, very tight out there, very, very scrappy, so much at stake. Difficult conditions to boot.
With the header for Leeds United. Snodgrass takes on Jones, who slips. Promising situation, tries to invent something here for Johnson, and he has to, and it's gone behind. There's a big opportunity there for Leeds United. Bradley Johnson couldn't finish it off. Great ball by Snodgrass.
Well, he does ever so well because he's crowded out, but then there's a collision of legs and Snodgrass gets the benefit of that. Then that's a brilliant ball. And when this arrives on Bradley Johnson's left foot, the minimum you expect somebody with a decent left foot like that is that he hits the target, snatches at it, and the chance is gone.
It wasn't close either, was it?
No, it wasn't, as I say, really. It sums up the scruffiness of the first half, really.
Fine ball by Snodgrass, who's in possession again now. Kilkenny. It's Beckford. Leeds have looked the side are most likely to break the deadlock. Beckford inviting something there, and Snodgrass with the header.
Well, it was a difficult chance, to be honest. Just from the angle of the cross and the pace on the cross, Snodgrass has got a lot to do to score from there. He tries to throw himself at it to generate some power. He can't do that. In a scrappy game, it is Leeds that have been asking more of the questions of Oldham.
Oldham have switched their wingers, Don, here.
Yes, I noticed
Dean
that.
Smalley's gone over to the left-hand side, and Chris Taylor's trying his luck on the right now.
The thing is, they've got to get the ball to them in more advanced positions than they've done so far in this match for the two lads to be effective.
Well won by Cabba. Here's Mayer. Now Taylor. Now in that wide right roll. Free kick.
Johnson again.
Yeah, he needs to watch it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's getting a bit frustrated. Obviously, he's just had that opportunity coming together 5 minutes ago, and another coming together. He's not happy with the outcome of.
Gregan. Looks too long. It is way too long. overhit. Now, John Sheridan, the Leeds United manager, might be a little frustrated because his side not really settled as yet, but the points are still there to be grabbed, aren't they, tonight?
They are, yeah. They're there to be grabbed. And he's a very, very straight-talking man, John Sheridan. I'm pretty sure he won't be happy with what he's seen in the opening 45 from his boys. They can play so much better than that. We keep talking about the wind, but there comes a point where simple passes are going astray, and that's nothing to do with the wind.
Cabba. Oldham might settle for 0-0 after this half, really, because their work, a lot of it's been pretty ragged, and it's Leeds who've had what chances there have been. They may feel they can only improve after the break. Jones with the header down to Smalley. Jones again, well found by the left back. Quite a difficult ball, he picked him out effortlessly.
He's gone down easily. Dean Smalley. And again, as they walked away, had a little push and a shove with somebody. Spotted by the referee. No need for it.
Russell Booth just making it pretty clear he isn't going to tolerate anything more like that. No yellow card on this occasion.
Well, I think he's had a terrific half, the referee. In fact, he's been the best player out there, hasn't he?
Marquez gets it away.
It's one of the few opportunities Oldham have had to really get some quality into the Leeds United penalty area. Try and take advantage of it.
Can Oldham steal in front here, right on the break from a corner kick, which is there on the wing. Taylor attacking it, but the whistle had already gone. The referee saw something he didn't like in all the argy-bargy before Taylor headed it.
Yeah, to have Hawkeyes, lots of movement, and well, I'm at a loss really to see anything there. Is he penalising Cabba for being in front of the goalkeeper? Because there's nothing wrong with that for me.
I think that's what he did give. He thought the goalkeeper was being deliberately impeded by Stephen Cabba.
Well, I disagree with that, to be honest with you. I think strikers are entitled to do that. He stood his ground, made life difficult. That's what his manager wants him to do in the grand scheme of things.
Cabba had quite a long loan spell at Blackpool for Simon Grayson earlier on in the season. The Leeds manager, of course. Still the early days of Grayson's reign after his successes with Blackpool, who he took from this division into the Championship. Jones. Composure. Might have been dangerous. Didn't turn out to be. Eardley, and that's half-time. Feisty, ragged at times. Big chance for Jermaine Beckford with a header. Bradley Johnson had a good chance as well, but at half-time here, it's Oldham Athletic 0, Leeds United 0.